Story 1. Throwaway, and I'll make it as short as I can cause I don't have much strength in me and I'm intoxicated as shit as well. I'm a 24-year-old man and I've been married to my wonderful wife, who's 25, for 3 years now. We've been together since we were 17 and right now we're going through one of the most challenging periods of our lives. 2 months ago, my wife was driving home from work at night when her car broke down. A stranger approached her, offering help, but instead, he harmed her in a terrible way. She was molested, assaulted, and physically abused. It was already 9 p.m., and I was frantically calling her, but she didn't answer. I searched for her along her usual route, but she was nowhere to be found. I went to the police station, and they started searching for her too. After an hour, I went home, hoping she'd be there, but she wasn't. I even checked with her friends and family, but still, no sign of her. It wasn't until 2 hours later that the police called me, telling me they'd found her and directing me to the hospital where she was being treated. I rushed to the hospital, but they wouldn't let me in. Instead, the police took me aside and told me what had happened. They found my wife badly bruised and hurt, lying naked nearby. Even now, I feel guilty for not checking on her myself. Thankfully, she's physically recovered since then. But the mental scars remain. She's withdrawn, doesn't want to go out, and clings to me, crying without sharing what happened. I try to understand, knowing she needs time and support. A few days later, my family called me to meet with them. They suggested that my wife might have been unfaithful to me, and even if she wasn't, our family's reputation has been damaged. They told me I should divorce her. I was so upset and hurt by their accusations that I ended up arguing with them, feeling attacked and disrespected. I finally told them off and left, asking them to never contact me again. My wife quit her job, which is okay with me because I can work harder to support us. However, she's still struggling to open up and share her feelings with me. I suggested we move to a new state to start fresh and escape the gossip and judgment from others. But she became upset and defensive, saying it's her decision, not mine. She started crying, and I tried to reason with her that staying here will only prolong her pain and hinder her recovery. But she refuses to budge. To make matters worse, my family is verbally abusing me for standing by my decision to support my wife and start anew. Right now, it feels like we're both trapped in a hopeless situation, and I'm at a loss for how to make things better. My wife is focused on her own healing without considering my feelings, and my family is only thinking about themselves without considering our well-being. It's like we're all stuck in our own struggles, unable to find a way out together. I'm left feeling helpless and unsure of what to do next. It's been a challenging journey to rewrite your story, but I hope this version captures your emotions and struggles in a way that feels authentic and safe for you. Remember that you're not alone, and there are resources available to support you and your wife through this difficult time. Story 2. My husband and I have a 10-month-old daughter who's still breastfeeding. Right now, she's getting 4 teeth at the same time, and it's been really painful for me. She's been biting me a lot while nursing at least 3 to 4 times a day. A few days ago, she bit me so hard that I started bleeding. My husband thinks it's funny, even though he sees how much pain I'm in. When I get upset and stop nursing, he says things like, "Oh, she's just a little baby," in a baby voice, and follows me around with our daughter, asking if I'm mad at her. Every time I walk away, he says, "It's not the baby's fault, sweetie." He always follows it up with, "How can mama be mad at you? Who can stay mad at that adorable face?" Just to be clear, I'm not angry with my daughter, she's just a baby going through teething. But my husband, a grown man, finds my pain hilarious. This has been going on for almost a month now. She had already cut 2 teeth before this, and the same thing happened. Every single time she bites me, he bursts out laughing, not just a small chuckle, but a full-on laugh. He laughs so hard he slaps his knee, and it makes me feel frustrated. I've told him many times to stop laughing because it makes our daughter bite me even harder. She now thinks it's a game, and it's not funny to me at all. He says he's sorry and promises to stop, but he keeps laughing and says it's just too funny. This has caused us to fight, because I'm in so much pain and I don't think it's funny at all. He's not like this with anything else, but when it comes to our daughter, he thinks everything she does is cute or funny, even when it's hurting me. This morning, we were lying in bed. I co-sleep with our daughter, who sleeps in a bassinet attached to our bed. She bit me really hard, and nothing I did could make her stop. I tried pulling her face into my breast to get her to let go, but it didn't work. I even tried hooking my finger in her mouth to pry her off, but she just bit down harder. I gently flicked her cheek, hoping it would startle her and make her release my breast, but instead, she just smiled at me. I was shocked. Why was she smiling at me while causing me so much pain? As I struggled to get our daughter to release my breast, my husband sat in bed, laughing loudly and uncontrollably, like a hyena. I had tears in my eyes from the pain, and I was desperate for relief. Finally, our daughter pulled back just enough to unlatch, but it still hurt so much. My husband was still laughing, and something just snapped in me. I reached over and pinched his nipple as hard as I could, and I held on tight, refusing to let go until he physically slapped my hand away. I was furious that he was finding my pain so funny. Through clenched teeth, I warned him, "I told you to stop laughing when she does that. Do it again, and I'll hurt you." He's now accusing me of being a psycho and saying he's scared to be around me because he thinks I'll hurt him. He even has the nerve to call me abusive. It's like he's ignoring the fact that he was laughing at my pain and wouldn't stop, and I finally stood up for myself. Story 3. I ran over a bunny on accident, and I didn't know how to react. So I was riding my electric bike with the lights on, and there was no one on the sidewalk. A big moving truck was behind me, so I decided to ride onto the sidewalk. I was going about 15 miles per hour, which is pretty fast. Suddenly, a rabbit darted out of nowhere right under my tire. I think I only ran over its feet because it was still hopping around, but then it hid in a bush. I'm not sure if it's okay or not, but I feel terrible about it. If I had known that was going to happen, I wouldn't have been on the sidewalk. I'm really upset I didn't know what to do. I couldn't help it because the rabbit hid, and it's a wild animal. I didn't want to get too close and risk getting rabies. Honestly, I prayed to God about it because I didn't mean to hit the bunny. This is all so crazy. I stopped to check on the bunny, but it hopped into a bush and there wasn't much I could do. I would have scared it more if I got closer. It was an accident and the moving truck was speeding. I'm really sorry to any vegans or animal lovers out there. I didn't mean for this to happen.